The Bitcoin ETF, was it a massive disaster as prices continue to look rocky? The calls for $32,000 continue to come out. The question we need to ask ourselves is more pain to come? Of course, if more pain does come, does it even really matter? I know we like to talk about the short-term price action in Bitcoin because it's fun, it's interesting, it gives us something to talk about on a day-to-day. Long term, really not that big of a deal. If you ask me personally, 32K is probably going to be a great buying opportunity for those who might still be sidelined or miss the train. But look, there could be more pain coming. I want to talk about this with you, break down the case here, look at some of the numbers, and to keep in mind too that the Bitcoin ETF is a massive event, just not in the short term. Okay. So let's go ahead and dive in here and start having a look. Oh, and of course, thanks to iTrust for sponsoring today's live stream. More on that in a few minutes. So let's look at the charts. Bitcoin, of course, did get down as far as 21% under. We're currently about 19% under the recent high. A lot of calls still coming in for 32K Bitcoin, which sounds pretty scary, but would actually be right in line with basically everything we've seen in past cycles. It would only be a 35% correction. 30% corrections are absolutely the norm. If you go down to around 30%, let's say 32% here, that will bring us, chart's getting messy here, guys. Sorry, but that'll bring us right around this level with the 50-day exponential moving average, which is the yellow line on the chart here. Nothing scary. That's happened multiple times. You look back to the last bull market cycle before that, we retested the 50-day exponential moving average or 50-week exponential moving average multiple times, okay? Nothing to freak out about, nothing to worry about. Bull market support band down here around $37,000, $36,000. If we go down there, not that crazy either, okay? So the thing is to not fear any of these possible price corrections. I know it's really easy to get freaked out by the price action. And when numbers are going up, then, hey, everything looks great and we're all happy and everybody's feeling good. Everyone's making money. And when the prices start going down, you have these big, fat, nasty red candles. Everybody starts freaking out, man. I tell you, these when the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. It's crazy, but it is what it is, man. This is how markets operate. This is all pretty standard stuff, unfortunately. Currently, we're finding support around the 100-day exponential moving average. Can we sustain there? Will be interesting to see. We're kind of, unfortunately, now running into resistance around $40,000 approximately, which, of course, big fat round number. Markets always have to find those areas as price resistance, don't they? Trying to get back up after the recent crash down. So if we can get back over 40,000, particularly, I think this area around like 40,500 up to like around like 41,500, which is where the 50-day exponential moving average is actually currently sitting at. Those are probably the big areas to look at for more upward trajectory to continue moving into the not so distant future. Okay, so look, charts are painting a picture where the market's struggling still, but how long for? Well, it's anybody's guess. We are seeing, of course, huge amounts of Bitcoin continuing to be activated. We had a giant whale the other day sending in just $500 million of the Bitcoin casual, Wednesday afternoon activities. What do you want? I guess I'll sell $500 million of the Bitcoin. Nothing else to do today. I'll send in a Coinbase or, hey, PSYOP level stuff. Let's send $500 million worth of Bitcoin into Coinbase just to freak the plebs out because they'll see it on chain. Don't even have to sell. Just move it there for a few days and then move it back. Short the market while it's happening. You might laugh, but that's what happens. When you have that much Bitcoin, that much money, you have the power to do these kind of things. Grayscale also sending in truckloads of Bitcoin all the damn time. They sent another 19,200 Bitcoin worth $760 million to Coinbase. Yesterday, man, come on, Grayscale, give us a break here, man. Hey, look, I know. Look, here's the thing. Grayscale moving all this Bitcoin around. To be clear, some of that Bitcoin ends up going to BlackRock and Fidelity and all these sorts of things. And there are people who are just selling and walking away. But the sooner we do this, I'd prefer Grayscale just send a quarter million Bitcoin over tomorrow. Let's just get it done with. Pull off the damn Band-Aid, take the hit in the face, stand back up, smile, ask for another, and just move on with ourselves. Because the sooner we get rid of the specter of grayscale selling and the narrative that's creating the market, because as the facts have pointed out, it's not actually such a big deal, but people like to freak the frick out anyway, because that's what we do. We're emotional creatures. Prices start getting red. You look for narratives that are going to say, everything's going bad. When, hey, everything's actually not that bad. And 32K for a lot of people would probably be a welcome price entry if we're keeping it real. Okay, here's some math here as we discussed the other day. Grayscale net sales 95,000 Bitcoin. All of the ETF net buy 118,000 Bitcoin so far. Okay, so far we have had more Bitcoin being bought than being unloaded by Grayscale. We're up by about 25,000 Bitcoin approximately at the moment. So that means that since the Bitcoin ETFs have started trading, we've had 25,000 Bitcoin worth of positive inflows, which is pretty interesting. Actually, more than that, because some of the Grayscale Bitcoin was put back in, but other Grayscale Bitcoin, like the FTX Grayscale Bitcoin, exited the market completely. So that's an extra $1 billion of Bitcoin that did come into the other ETF products. So we're actually seeing very, very strong growth in these Bitcoin ETF products. They just have to deal with, and look, we talked about this. We talked about this a lot before the Bitcoin ETF came out, that, well, once the floodgates open, you're also opening up the floodgates for Grayscale, and people are going to want to get out. And Grayscale's really made people want to get out because they have 1.5% fee, which is 10 times higher than everybody else in the market. It's a dumb business decision if you ask me, but it's a decision they made. Anyway. Such are things. Neste here saying we are in the golden cycle. Where are we right now? If we look back at previous cycles, so look back at the 2020 cycle, 2016 cycle, even further back in time, and we can see, of course, that touch on the 0.618 fib line. And what happened after that is usually a big correction when that happens. Pre-Bitcoin halving, as we've seen now, there's a correction, and that's kind of the final period, the final few months that you have as an opportunity to buy Bitcoin. I've got a video dropping tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Please make sure you watch it. It's super value packed. It just lays out with the facts, the charts, everything you need to know about how long historically we can try to predict that this current accumulation period is going to last. And spoiler alert, you got about 9 months, maybe, but that's very much breaking down in details on the video. So keep an eye out for that. Here we go. Total non-time. I was going to answer this one real quick because it's funny. Do you smoke the devil's lettuce, Lark? Oh, the devil lettuce. I've had my tussles with the devil lettuce back in the day. It's been a long time though. Been a long time, actually. It's quite funny. I have like zero desire to roll up and sit down with a chat for the devil there, so to speak. Last time, I actually bought some. This was in last year. I went to see my dad, and he actually lives next to an Indian reservation. And we went down to the Indian reservation where it's legal to buy it, and bought some just because I could, because I grew up, being a teenager, having it always sort of not be able to be bought in a store, right? Having to go to all these shady places to try and get some devil lettuce. But yeah, it's been a long time. I didn't even just bought one, bought a doobie just because that's gonna be funny. It's $5 and just didn't think about it much after that. But yeah, man, it's been a long time. Don't even drink very much anymore, to be honest. A few glasses of wine once in a while, but man, no time, no desire. Too many other interesting things going on. Not that I have any problem with it, obviously. I think it's absurd that the devil lettuce is still illegal in so many places. That's ridiculous. And then, of course, everybody can drink booze all the time. Hey, we're getting off topic here. Let's get back talking about crypto. It's an interesting question I wanted to answer. Hey, okay. Let's continue, guys. Let's continue. All right, come on. This is a great one from Cryptocon. I like this chart. Let me just get my face off here so you guys can see it. So the magic bands continue to hold the spot of most accurate Bitcoin price bands that exist. The mid-top, as expected, was made almost perfectly at the blue level around 49,200 So it's quite interesting to see that the mid 2019 top also hit that particular area. We go back to the mid 2016 top, also coming close, but not quite to that area. So very, very, very interesting. Now, he says what we look for next is the yellow level. That's at 32,600. Again, $32,000. Man, there's so many different predictions coming up around that $32,000 zone. Will we get it? I don't know. Right? But it's certainly an area that a lot of people are watching right now. It is an important area for a variety of reasons. So if we do go down any lower, I think that would be like the bottom, personally. Just my opinion, obviously. He goes on, every mid-top has reached a primary band. Once that's done, they correct next one level lower. 2019 is the only example it moved far below. Now, what's interesting, too, is if you look on the higher end here for cycle tops, the current cycle top for this is at $113,000. We're still relatively flat on this. You can see previous cycle tops only came in whenever this really started to invert to the upside. So we will watch for that. That might give us our 150 to 200K top. Okay? That's an interesting one to watch. We'll come back to the magic bands later, but I like that. It's very interesting. Okay. Now, let's do a quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is iTrust Capital. They are an IRA service. So basically, you can trade your crypto within the wrapping of a tax-free retirement account. They got all the big coins. They got your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your Solana, your Chainlink, all kinds of cool altcoins as well, Hashgraph and Litecoin, Matic, whatever you guys want. They also have gold and silver, which is pretty damn cool. That's via Kitco. So that's the real deal stuff. You get actual gold and silver, of course, wrapped away somewhere, but it's not fake. It's not just paper. Okay. It's actually held by Kitco. So you got lots of options here that you can do, and you can make 1,000 trades within their account and never once have a taxable event because it's wrapped within an IRA account. So this is a retirement account. So it's pretty damn cool. You can use the link down below to get a $100 signing bonus when you fund your account. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested in doing that. Look, iTrust, they've got the most volume of any IRA provider. They have the most assets under management of any IRA provider, and they have the most users of any IRA provider. So if you're looking for a tax efficient way to have a long-term play on crypto, it's definitely something to look into. And of course, yeah, I know you can get a Bitcoin ETF, but look, Bitcoin ETFs only trade Monday to Friday. It's only Bitcoin, of course. You want to do altcoins, they don't have that for you. But Bitcoin ETFs are only Monday to Friday and don't even have holidays, right? Crypto is 365 days a week, 24/7. You need to be able to respond to the markets, and you can do that with your iTrust Capital account. So thanks again to iTrust for sponsoring today's video. If you want to check out that or get some more info on it, check it out. Okay, so newest thing freaking everybody out. Silk Road Bitcoin on the move. The U.S. has announced they're going to sell $130 million of the Bitcoin from Silk Road's seizure. And all I got to say is those are chump numbers. Come on, $130 million of the Bitcoin. Was that supposed to scare me? Or are you trying to scare me here? Come on. That's nothing. That's nothing. Dump it all. Come on, market dump it. Do it. We don't care. It's funny in the context, obviously, that we've seen so much money come out of Grayscale. $130 million for the Bitcoin. Who cares, man? That's nothing. That's nothing. That's fine. Here's an interesting one for you. Bruised by the stock market, the Chinese rush into banned Bitcoin. It's quite interesting, to think that realistically, a lot of people are calling the Bitcoin ETF as this massive disaster. It's been this giant failure. No, it's actually been really successful. It has unlocked the liquidity from Grayscale, which was always going to be problematic. We did have a lot of people trying to front run the narrative, all these sorts of things. Okay, right? That has to unwind itself. All the derivatives contracts have to unwind themselves. All the spot buys have to unwind themselves. You had billions of dollars who bought at 25 or 30K, and they wanted to unload higher when the news. They bought the rumor, they sold the news. Okay, but now we're at the stage where, sure, we're going to have a 20, 30% correction, which is totally normal. Nothing to even get excited about, particularly in crypto, to be honest. And we see globally adoption continues to rise, not only through the Bitcoin ETF products. Bitcoin ETF products are a net positive so far. Remember that. Don't forget that. That's really important information. So they're far from a disaster. We've actually seen really positive things so far for the Bitcoin ETF in spite of the massive Grayscale liquidity exit. But then we have all this other stuff. We have the Chinese want to get into Bitcoin, for example, because, why not? China remains, in spite of government crackdowns, one of the biggest damn crypto markets in the world. One of the popular crypto markets in the world. It's crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff, guys. It's pretty amazing to see what's happening. And as Ted here points out, he says the suits continue to acquire Bitcoin, now more than $4 billion, or 116,000 Bitcoin held across the new spot ETF products. It's pretty crazy. That's not counting Grayscale, where money's largely exiting from, but that's just the new stuff. That's just the new stuff. And we're only a few weeks in. Now, riddle me this, okay? Here's a question for you. How much more Bitcoin? It's January. The Bitcoin ETFs have been trading for a little over 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks now. Okay, we're already over 116,000 Bitcoin with Fidelity, BlackRock, Bitwise, whatever, VanEck. Okay, riddle me this. How many Bitcoin by the end of the year gets in there? I want to know your thoughts on that. We're already over 100,000 Bitcoin that is in the hands of the new players. I'm not talking about Grayscale. Money's largely going to exit there. How much Bitcoin goes into ETF products this year? Really think about that. Let me know, of course, in the comments, in the live chat, what you guys think. But also this, just answer it for yourself, because really think, is it possible that in the next, this only first 2.5 weeks, okay, marketing efforts have barely ramped up. We're in the very beginning days of this. Is it possible that by the end of the year, let's take a very, very conservative estimate, that we get another 400,000 Bitcoin into these products? I think that's probably a very conservative estimate, if you ask me. Maybe I'll be proven wrong by time. I think it's probably going to be closer to 700,000, 900,000 more Bitcoin by the end of the year. We could have these ETF products by the end of the year with anywhere between 500,000 to 1 million Bitcoin across them. Now, what happens as we go throughout the year and we see huge amounts of Bitcoin being taken off the markets and sucked up into these ETF products? Because it's going to come. Short term, yeah, okay, great. The ETF was a disaster. Well, we always expected that there was a strong possibility for a sell the news. We know that 20 to 30% corrections are the absolute norm in the market during a bull market for Bitcoin. So once we get past that, once the halving kicks in, once that narrative starts taking off, and we have this consistent buy pressure, Philosophitum, why aren't you streaming on YouTube too? We are streaming on YouTube, man. We are streaming on YouTube too. We stream these on YouTube and on X, so you can join us in either place. And actually, I think these get reposted over on Rumble as well. But we don't live stream on Rumble. I think it uploads afterwards. But still, you can watch our videos over there too. And of course, we upload them as a podcast. If you want to listen in your car tomorrow, we try to have a pretty short turnaround time, and those usually around under 12 hours. So you can listen to the latest news happening in the crypto space on your ride into work on the train or whatever. Okay, so let's talk altcoins for a little bit before we crack open a Perrier and dive into the questions for the day. If you have used the Jupiter exchange, well, you might have an airdrop coming. So if you used it in the last 6 months, or you're holding a top NFT collection, okay, if you're one of those people, you might have the ability, or a Solana Mobile Genesis holder, a few different people are going to get these airdrops, then you're going to be getting some Jupe tokens. Now, what's interesting also is that there is going to be a meme coin dropped out as well. So Where Meow, the guy behind Jupiter, the key person behind Jupiter, they're also releasing a meme coin. So I expect both those to do well, to be honest. That's my opinion, of course, but I hope that I will get an airdrop. I guess we'll see it in a few days. I haven't used Jupiter like crazy amounts, but I've put some volume through over there. I should hopefully get something, depending on when the airdrop was, or sorry, when the snapshot was. But definitely, if you have used the Jupiter exchange, if you've been using Solana, I hope you get an airdrop. Check for it. It's releasing on the 29th, I believe. Be careful for phishing scams. Only trust official sources, okay, and be really careful clicking on links, because as always, we will see huge scamming around this, so please be careful, okay? But that's exciting. I think the Jupiter Exchange token, very interesting. Okay, very interesting. They're going to do a launch pad as well, which launch pads can do quite well. I think there's going to be a token rev share at some point in the future as well. Rumored, we'll see what they can realistically do. You know how those things go. Uniswap was supposed to have rev share too, but they never did it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But hey, hopefully it's another great stimulus check from the Solana crowd. That would be fantastic. Hey, by the way, if you want to get into this airdrop, you can actually test out the Burnt network. So this is a layer 1 blockchain working on abstraction features, basically abstraction trying to make using crypto as easy as possible by taking away all the tough parts, the signing smart contracts and sitting around like a nerd on your Ledger wallet. Okay, it's not really the future of finance. That's the future of finance, but like the command line code version of. It's not super user friendly from that perspective yet, but we're going in that direction, and abstraction layers will help us do that. Anyway, it's a very interesting one. They're doing an airdrop. It's free to participate. Okay, so if you want to use the link, you'll need that to sign up. You can use my referral link. You'll find it in the description of this video. Go and check that out and try out their crash game, which may be an activity that helps to qualify you for that potential upcoming airdrop. Okay. Okay, other altcoin news. So I told you guys I bought some more Manta the other day. It's up a bit currently, not like dramatically or anything, but it's up a bit currently. I hope that it'll 2 to 3x, and then I'll probably exit that position. Let's see what happens. But here we go. After a rocky token listing, Manta Network is back in the news, and Korea has emerged as a surprising region for the blockchain's ecosystem development, with 2 of its largest TVL contributors based in the East Asian country. Now, I bring that up because, guys, South Korea is on the Manta Network. If you know anything about South Korea, there's I don't know, the South Korean crypto community is like crazy, man. I want to go party with these guys sometime because holy cow, the amount of crazy degeneracy in the South Korean crypto scene is nuts. Anyway, not saying it's going to definitely pump Manta Network or anything, but it's pretty interesting to see that it is starting to kick off over in South Korea. So we'll see how it ends up going. But yeah, hopefully get a few X's out of that, and then see you later, man. That'd be fantastic. I'd love to see that. Real quick word as well on the Ethereum spot ETF. So the SEC has been delaying their decisions of the spot ETF so far. Spot Ethereum ETFs won't need a lawsuit to be approved, says Crypto Mom. She says we shouldn't need a court to tell us that our approach is arbitrary and capricious for us to get it right. So yes, I agree. Look, here's the thing. Because of the Grayscale case, right now, the SEC doesn't have a leg to stand on when it comes to Ethereum. Every bit of logic that applied to the Bitcoin Grayscale ruling equally applies to the Grayscale Ethereum trust and to any Grayscale any spot Ethereum ETF product that gets applied for. My guess, we'll see an approval in May. They may wait till the absolute last minute, 4:55 p.m. on the final day, but yeah. Anyway. Okay, what's up next? Coinbase falls down after JP Morgan downgrades stock to underweight on disappointing Bitcoin ETF catalyst. I bring this up because the crypto stocks have actually done really well. Now, look, altcoins can definitely outperform, but I feel like something like Coinbase, compared to all the crazy crap that we can buy, on chain, and on chain money can definitely become bigger. But yeah, when we look at something like the Coinbase stock, back down to $120 post ETF, so it's largely following Bitcoin, but outpacing it generally. I put in a buy order for more, not a lot more. It's like another $1,000 or something. I was like, yeah, it's just, let's buy some more Coinbase stocks. Why not? I actually traded my Intel stocks for Coinbase stocks a few weeks ago as well. So, I think it's an interesting opportunity. Also, this one, so Core Scientific, stock down 30% after bankruptcy relisting. Now, we did a report on this for our Money Mastery newsletter, which does like tech stocks and stuff. So we don't really talk about this much on the crypto channel or in Wealth Mastery newsletter or anything like that. But this is actually a very interesting play, potentially quite undervalued compared to some of the other mining stocks that are out there right now. Obviously, because it's coming out of a restructuring process, it's, got a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth. But I don't know if I'll take a position in this or not. I might consider it when it gets listed on my local brokerage app here. But anyway, it's an interesting thing. I'm not saying to run out and buy Core Scientific, please. We're not doing financial advice here, guys. I'm just telling you some interesting stuff that's going on in the market, some interesting things that we found in the market over time here. So do with that what you will. As always, investing in crypto is risky. You can lose all your money. And if you ever want to see my portfolio disclosures, my venture investment disclosures, you'll find that down below in the description. Okay. Or in the pinned tweet on X. So let's open up the floor. Let's crack open a Perrier. Not sponsored by Perrier, guys, but hey, if Perrier wants to send me some free water at any point, I'll take that. No, but seriously, let's do some questions. Let's talk crypto. What do you guys want to talk about today? Oh, that's good. Billy Bigalow, is there a chance that the YouTube crypto perma-bears are correct and that the ETFs have finally killed Bitcoin for good? No, absolutely not. Look, the ETFs are just another way for liquidity to enter and exit the market, because you have to keep in mind that money will not always stay in these Bitcoin ETF products. It'll exit the market too. When Bitcoin tops out 150, 200K, whatever, money will come out from the Bitcoin ETFs as well. So keep that in mind, okay? Keep that in mind, all right? So no, I don't think the crypto perma-bears are correct. And the ETFs have definitely not killed Bitcoin. Okay. What do we got up here next? Thoughts on Render. Look, I don't know a whole lot about Render. I know what it does, but I would say that in general, it taps into a very interesting part of sort of decentralized physical infrastructure networks and stuff like that by, supporting like AI and whatnot through their computing power and stuff. So it's an interesting use case. How much that takes off, hard to say. Adoption's a tricky one. Ideas are great. A lot of great ideas in crypto. Adoption, that's the hard part sometimes. It's good to have a great idea. But actually getting things really big time adopted. I'm talking beyond hype, beyond sort of just a few, it's like big time. You got to get it big time, man. We're talking something that's going to sustainably stay at a multi-billion-dollar market cap. You got to get adoption for that. Okay. Mohammed, why did you never talk about Cadena? Can't talk about every coin, man. I really can't. I know well-ish a decent handful of coins. But man, you can't keep up with every coin. There's so many coins. There's so many narratives, so many things going on. It's impossible to keep up. So I don't know very much about Cadena, but I wish you luck, and I hope that your bags go to the moon. How big could DePIN, decentralized physical infrastructure networks, be? I'm a huge bear market buyer of Poked Network. I know you're a Chainlink bull. What does DePIN look like as far as adoption? Look, real world use cases are one of the things that crypto needs the most. That's why I've always been bullish on gaming. Gaming doesn't really solve any problems or anything like that, but it's a narrative that's, I think, easy to connect with. Game gets popular, price goes up, because real people come and start using the product. You see a lot of the DeFi protocols and stuff like that, and I use DeFi protocols, but a lot of the DeFi protocols and stuff that we have, look, let's keep it real. Most of the stuff just benefits big whales. They take the majority of the rewards and have the majority of the power to lift or destroy, so to speak, the future fate of any particular protocol. So if we see decentralized physical infrastructure networks really taking off, whether that be mobile hotspots or whatever else, it's very big potential. Very big potential. This is, again, one of those things that helps cross us over into the mainstream. And the more mainstream adoption we get, the better it is long-term for crypto. It brings millions of more people potentially into the market. Cassian says, for every crypto that makes it, probably 100 others go to zero. Might be higher than that, considering how many cryptocurrencies are actually doing anything vaguely useful. Yeah. Yeah. Michael says, Lark, love the content, multi-year listener, short-term versus long-term outlook on IMX. I think they're going to change gaming and crypto. Immutable X, look, I know the guys over there. I should have invested in the private round. I think I got offered that, but I can't remember what the heck happened. Didn't end up investing, but I've always been a supporter of Immutable X. I've always kind of kept an eye on them. I follow them on Twitter and stuff like that. And so look, gaming's going to be big, and they're basically a gaming ecosystem, essentially, right? They're running all these different games across the IMX chain. So long-term, I can't give you a short-term picture. I'm not familiar enough with price charts or any of their short-term news catalysts or anything to say this is what's going to happen short-term. But long-term, if they keep doing what they have been doing and moving in the right direction as they have been, then they have the potential to be a major player in the crypto gaming space. Early mover advantage is important, and they were pretty early. So yeah, I like IMX. I like what they do, and I think they've probably got some really good stuff coming. So keep an eye on them. Arbitrum. Well, not much of a question, but hey, look, I'll give you my thought. Arbitrum, man, it's the most used network. The price, though, just the problem with Arbitrum is that the token doesn't capture a huge amount of value. Now, that might change a bit when staking gets implemented, which is probably coming soonish. That could cause a new narrative for ARB and some new demand for the token, okay? The network's great. I use Arbitrum all the time. You know, it's one of the most adopted networks, biggest, you know, huge transaction count, huge daily user count, huge TVL, lots of great projects built, all this sort of stuff. The token, though, does not capture much of that value, unfortunately. But it can someday. Staking could help. Okay, where are we up to? If you were to put new money in now, which would you buy? Avalanche, Chainlink, or Uniswap? I wouldn't buy Uniswap. I can tell you that. Not because Uniswap is a bad exchange, but because it's a bad token. Like my ARB tokens, it doesn't have any use case. I've thought about my ARB token. Hey, at least ARB might have staking at some point. Jeez. Uniswap can't even throw you that kind of bone. It's crazy. Uniswap's pretty useless governance token. It'll pump at some point, but I think it'll lag behind a lot of other stuff that has more sort of viral potential, let's say, use cases for the market. Okay, so just something to keep in mind, something to think about. Yeah. AVAX or Link? I don't know, man. It's tough. I've got a big bag of both. If I had to bring new money into the market, I don't know. If it were me and my money, can I just do 50-50? I guess if it got a gun to my head and I have to choose one, probably Avalanche because I can stake it. Although Chainlink CCIP is going to be massive, but you can stake Chainlink as well, I know, but good luck getting into the staking pool. Avalanche is a lot easier to stake, and then you get the staking rewards, and that's pretty nice just for that. But man, I got both of those. I own Avalanche. I own Chainlink. I think they're both going to do pretty well in the cycle. So yeah. Todd says, people keep citing previous bull cycles, yet the outlier is the ETF, massive manipulator, not to make elites corporations rich, but to kill the rest of us in crypto. We're doomed. Look, I understand the opinion. Obviously, when we invite in Wall Street, we invite in some pretty nasty players overall. But I think the mistake a lot of people make is that they assume Wall Street only wants to manipulate things down. No, Wall Street wants to take your money. And they do this by pushing prices up and then pushing them down. Okay? So keep that in mind. And the ETF, I know everybody's saying, well, this time is different and this time is different. Look, every time is different. But there's some fundamental realities of markets that never change, and that's you and me. People tend to react very similar across a wide variety of factors, but essentially our psychology remains the same. We take risks in a similar fashion, unless you're a total contrarian thinker, but the majority of people will take risks in similar fashions and move in a similar direction, regarding markets. And the ETF is not a catalyst that's so unique in the sense that it will completely change crypto forever. I mean, it will, but it's not going to break the cycles. You'll have people when price gets up to 200K, for example, 180K, and that's probably going to be cycle peak. You'll have people saying, well, now we're going to go to 1 million because ETF money will keep coming in. But at some point, ETF money dries up and a bear market comes and things kind of repeat. There'll be a risk off attitude. Money starts exiting out of the Grayscale, well, not necessarily Grayscale, BlackRock and Fidelity ETFs and all these sorts of things. Like, you guys do know it can be sold, right? It does not like a black hole where it goes in and it's locked up forever. It's just BlackRock holding Bitcoin on behalf of their customers. When those customers decide, well, now's a good time to sell my BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, they sell. It's that simple. So the ETF's the spark for this bull run, but it's not going to be such a unique factor in the terms of it's going to change crypto forever and completely rewrite history. And we're going to have a super cycle and something going to go up forever. There will still be bull markets. It's just the spark that gives us the bull market this time. It's the new liquidity injection into the cycle this time. And it could be more bullish than a lot of people will give it credit for, but it is just that liquidity injection. Okay, let's try and catch up here. A few minutes behind as always. Chris, I wanted to know the best way to sell large amounts of crypto when exiting the crypto market in 2025. I assume the platform you use to trade can make a big difference. Yes, absolutely it could. So depends on what kind of numbers we're talking about. But generally, if you're using like BINANCE or Coinbase, you can move very large numbers through there very efficiently. If we're talking about on-chain, Uniswap can usually absorb some pretty big sells, depending low cap altcoins and stuff, not so much, but you know, you'll find a way to sell those without too much of a problem. But yeah, generally have a good exchange account, have two, not a bad idea, because sometimes when markets get pretty crazy, Coinbase goes down. And if you're totally waiting on, okay, I have to sell on Coinbase, literally it gets flooded with so many people trying to log in when markets get really crazy. So be ready for that to happen. Okay. Be ready for the chains to get clogged up. Be ready to pay high fees to make sure you get your, crypto across, stuff like this. You don't get stuck in the mem pool, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So things to think about. You don't want your transaction. If you're trying to sell Bitcoin, for example, pay the highest fee possible when sending it from, well, not the highest fee possible. Make sure you pay for a fast transaction. Okay. It's going to cost a few more dollars, but you're going to make sure your Bitcoin gets through and doesn't get stuck in the mempool. Don't go for the cheapest fee possible. Okay. Okay. But yeah, have a plan. Have two exchange accounts and make sure that both of them offer you the ability to send money back to your bank account from there. Okay. Epic DeFi Nomads, cool artwork in the background. I love these. Go to Josie, JOSIE.io. I don't know if she's selling these prints anymore, but that's the artist, Josie Bellini, who made them. Okay, one or two more here, and then we'll finish up for today. Sean says, where is a safe place to stake DOT in America and get better gains than Coinbase without taking a huge risk? Well, look, if you want a centralized exchange option, it may not be available in your state, but there's the Kraken exchange. They allow you to stake DOT on the exchange. The probably better play, though, would be to just stake it via your wallet. So download one of the Polkadot wallets and stake it from there. If you don't feel that's within your technical capability to do, or you're worried about your wallet security and stuff, and you prefer to trust the exchange, which even Kraken will tell you, don't trust the exchanges, guys. Don't keep your crypto on our exchange. But then they also offer staking services. So, there's that. But Kraken will be a secondary option for you. What soccer team I do not watch soccer. Nick Weaver. What soccer team do you support? All right, this is a good one. We'll finish up with this. Sue asks, how'd you get into crypto? When I really started investing in crypto, I think it was my mom who really sparked it off. She was listening to Jeff Berwick, which if you guys aren't familiar, he's sort of more of a libertarian YouTube channel. I had him on back way ages ago. It was like 2018 or something. Anyway, but yeah, she was listening to like Jeff Berwick talking about Bitcoin and stuff. And she's like, you really need to look at this stuff, because we'd talked about it before, but I hadn't bought any. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna look at this stuff and like, oh crap, this is the thing. this is the thing. This is going to be huge. I need to get invested. I need to figure out how to participate in this, because once I started going down the rabbit hole, I was like, no, I want to do this. I need to figure out a way to not just be an investor, but how do I work in this industry? So I made a job for myself, essentially, when it came down to it. Started making content. And it's funny because the making content didn't necessarily start out with like, this was going to be, I'm going to have some big YouTube channel or any of this kind of stuff. It's kind of started out, I'm making content and this is fun. I'm having a good time. And oh crap, oh, here, I can make some money. And maybe I can share my referral link once in a while. And that's going to be great. And stuff like this. And then of course it just morphed into, well, whatever it is today. But that's kind of how we got started off making content. And it's funny, you go back to, well, the first video I left on here is I actually took off the first video I uploaded because it was just so bad. It was so bad. But anyway, it was like the second or third video uploaded, which was actually an IOTA video, which got like 5,000 views or something. I was like, oh, that's happening. Okay, well, I guess I should do more attention to this. And I did. And then in November 2017, I quit my day job. And quitting the day job, that was a big move, scary move. Obviously, it felt good for about 6 weeks until the market started tanking. Then in 2018, I was like, I'm an idiot. Why'd I quit my day job? No, I kept going. Look, I realized that the opportunity in cryptocurrency is too big. Once I understood it, I finally figured it out. And I was like, this is going to be massive. This is going to change everything. And look, 2017 was a crazy time. 2018 was a time of great despair and suffering, much worse than the previous bear market we've been through in 2022. Not even comparable. Really, 2018 was that moment where it's like, is this thing even going to keep going or is it really dead? It was that kind of vibe because there wasn't really anything to do on chain back then. It was just trade these coins on exchanges and hope the number goes up, basically. The biggest use case for Ethereum in 2017 was fundraising via ICOs, which doesn't even really happen anymore. They've moved on to DeFi and stable coins and all these other things. But yeah, those are crazy times. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next stream. Peace.